Pit Live. Oh, shit. Let me change something real quick. Just to make sure I don't lose you guys. It might go out for a second, but we will get it back going momentarily. Give me just a second here, guys. Let me get off this weak-ass fuck shit. UFC Vegas 45, Derek Lewis versus Chris Daukaus in the main event. This will be the last until second week of January. So I think January 15th is the next UFC card after this weekend. So we're going to savor it. Next Tuesday will not be a preview for any kind of card. It will be a MMA awards or a UFC awards show by the barbecue pit. We're going to be doing knockout of the year, fight of the year, comeback of the year, et cetera, et cetera. Next week after that, will not be a UFC preview, but it will be a MMA preview, Bellator or One or something like that. We're going to kick this off. Cub Swanson, Darren Elkins, first fight of the main card. Cub Swanson 27-12, 12 wins by knockout, 7 losses via submission, 2-5 in his last 7. He got TKO'd by Giga Chikadze in his last fight. His only wins in his last 7 fights were over Kong Gracie and Daniel Pineda. He's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's going against 26-9 Darren Elkins, 12 wins by decisions for Elkins, 5-1 via submission. He's on a 2-fight winning streak right now with submission over Louis Garagori and a TKO win over Derek Minner. He's 3-4 in his last 7. He's an former NCAA Division II wrestler, brown belt in jiu-jitsu, 3-inch height, 1-inch reach advantage. I think Elkins is going to have a slight advantage grappling, although Cub Swanson is going to come into the fight and exploit that Darren Elkins is mostly a banger, a brawler, and doesn't really rely on his grappling too much. If he does come out and brawl with Cub Swanson, it's going to be an early night. Cub Swanson is probably going to finish him first or second round. Carlos Diego Ferreira versus Matsut Gamrot. Gamrot's 19-1-1, 2-1 in the UFC, split decision loss in his debut to Guram Kudalatse. He followed that with a knockout win over Scott Holtzman and a submission win over Jeremy Stevens. He is a former KSW double champ, featherweight and lightweight. He's got 10 gold medals in jiu-jitsu tournaments from 2012 to 2019, black belt in jiu-jitsu. So all that was in the black belt class. He's going against Diego Ferreira, who's coming in with a 3-inch reach advantage. He's a third-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's 17-4, 8-4 in the UFC. He's got a TKO loss to Gregor Gillespie in May, his most recent fight. Currently on a 2-fight losing streak. The fight before that, a split decision loss to Beneil Dariush. He's been knocked out in 2 out of 4 of his losses, Gregor Gillespie and Dustin Poirier. And he's got 10 finishes in his career, 7 by submission, 3 by knockout. So I think Diego Ferreira is going to come in trying to grapple heavy with Gamrot. Gamrot has just got way too high class of grappling credentials as far as his jiu-jitsu background. I think he keeps it standing and Gamrot gets the easy finish, probably by TKO. Diego Ferreira is going to be a sad story, man, because he was once a very promising prospect. Comes to find out now he's on a 3-fight losing streak, and possibly on his way out the door for the UFC. Rafael Assunção versus Ricky Simone is the fight following that. Let's see if my boy wants to come up here. Go on. Come on. You know, come sit with me. Rafael Assunção versus Ricky Simone. Rafael Assunção is going to be his first fight since his TKO loss or his knockout loss to. Look here. Look, Mello. Look. Turn around. Come on. Look at him. Chilling. Since his knockout loss to Cody Garbrandt. He's on a 3-fight losing streak right now. Marlon Moraes, Corey Sandhagen, and then Garbrandt. He's got 10 wins by submission, 2 losses by submission. 27-8 is his overall record. 13 wins by decision. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. 10-5 in the UFC. Wins include Rob Font, Marlon Moraes, Aljamain Sterling, Pedro Munoz, and TJ Dillashaw. He's going against Ricky Simone, who's coming into this fight with a 3.5-inch reach advantage. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. 18-3 is his overall record. He has 10 wins by decision, 5 wins by knockout, and he's on a 3-fight winning streak at the moment, most recently with a decision win over Brian Kelleher. A decision over Brian Kelleher, and that was in February of 2021. He's got career losses to Anderson Dos Santos, Uriah Faber, and Rob Font. His biggest wins in his career over Ronnie Yaya, Montel Jackson, and Merab Devashvili. He is a former LFA bantamweight champion. Asuncao, very, very experienced, great cardio, good jiu-jitsu, good striking. Ricky Simone, on the other hand, is an up-and-coming prospect who's got, very, very similar attributes. He's got good cardio, good striking, good grappling. Just all around fighter. Overall, all around fighter for both guys. But I think Ricky Simone coming in the younger, more hungry, climbing the ranks, whereas Asuncao on a 3-fight losing streak and is fighting for his job essentially, rather than fighting to climb the ranks in that division and fight for a title in the near future. Ricky Simone's got more to gain. Rafael Asuncao really has nothing to lose, going to go for it all. I would hope that in that kind of situation, that's what Asuncao would do. I'm going to go underdog here, Rafael Asuncao against Ricky Simone. Amanda Lemos versus Angela Hill. Lemos comes in 10-1-1, a minus 300 favorite. 4-1 in the UFC. She lost her debut via TKO to Leslie Smith. After that, she has wins over Miranda Granger, Mizuki Aoun, Livia Souza, and Montserrat Ruiz. She got 7 wins by knockout, 2 wins by submission, going up against Angela Hill. 13-10 is Angela Hill's overall record. Never been knocked out in her career. 8-8 by decision, 5 wins by knockout, and she's 0-2 via submission. She has submission losses to Rose Namajunas and Ronda Marcos. She is 1-3 in the last 4 fights. Only win in that stretch was against Ashley Yoder. Angela Hill's a great kickboxer, got really good cardio. Amanda Lemos is a finisher, man. She is a rising prospect in that division. Minus 300 is 100% reasonable. She is probably going to come in and walk against Angela Hill. Although Angela Hill, if she can stick the leg kick, stick the jab out there, and keep the fight on the outside, she has a good chance of winning a decision as well. I'm just leaning more towards Amanda Lemos. Stephen Thompson in the co-main event versus Bilal Muhammad is a great striker versus grappler kind of matchup, although Muhammad's got power in his hands, man, and he is, in some of his most recent fights, been known as a striker more than a grappler. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. 19-3-1 is his overall record. He's 14 wins by decision, 4-1 by knockout. He's never been submitted in his career, and he's 10-3-1 in the UFC. His losses include Alan Jouban, Vicente Luque, and Jeff Neal. His wins include Damian Maia, Diego Lima, Curtis Melander, Tim Means, and Randy Brown. Stephen Thompson is coming off his last fight, which was a loss by decision to Gilbert Burns. He's 16-5-1 overall, 7-1 by knockout, 1-0 by submission, and he is 2-2 since 2019. He's a 5th-degree black belt in Kempo, brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu. He's coming into this fight with a 1-inch height and a 4-inch reach advantage, which should do him a very good service in this fight, as he'll probably be coming in trying to strike with Muhammad. Muhammad is going to either one, try to strike with Thompson, which is probably not going to be a good idea with Thompson having such a great reach advantage, or two, going to try to grapple with him, which, are you going to be able to take a guy down that has that karate wide base stance and also has such a reach advantage over you to where he's going to be able to stay far enough away from you as long as he keeps his jab out there and does what he's supposed to do striking. I think this is a little bit too hard of a task for Muhammad. It's a big step up in competition. So I'm going to go Stephen Thompson in this one as well. That brings us to the main event, Derek Lewis versus Chris Daukaus. Chris Daukaus, 12-3, 11 wins by knockout. 2 out of 3 has lost via knockout. He's 4-0 in the UFC. All his wins in the UFC are by knockout. Parker Porter, Rodrigo Nascimento, Alexio Lenik, and then Shamil Abrakarov. whatever. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's going up against Derek Lewis, who is 25-8-1 with 20 knockout wins. 5 out of 8 of his losses via knockouts, similar to Chris Daukaus. He is 4-1 in his last 5. And his one loss was a decision or a TKO loss to Cyril Gane. He's got career wins over Curtis Blades, Blagoy Ivanov, Alexander Volkov, Francis Ngannou, and Marcin Tybura. He's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's coming in with a 3-inch reach advantage. I think this is a perfect fight because Chris Daukaus, although he is a great jiu-jitsu, he's black belt in jiu-jitsu, he's got good grappling. I think he's going to try to stand and strike with Derek Lewis because, he's probably hearing coming into this fight, you don't want to stand with him. You don't want to strike with him. That's where he's going to, if he lands any kind of punch, he can knock you out. And, there's some guys that say, okay, I'm really good at jiu-jitsu. I'll just take him down and I'll win the fight that way. And there's some guys that say, fuck that, dude. I am a knockout artist myself. I'm an up-and-coming star. I'm going to prove to the world that not only can I stand with Derek Lewis, but I can also knock Derek Lewis out. And I think if he tries to do that, Derek Lewis is probably going to fucking knock him out cold. Derek Lewis plus 100. I'm going to go underdog again, Derek Lewis. Rest of the card pans out. Final card in the UFC. Final prelims of the year. Dustin Stolfus versus Gerald Meerschaert. Hani Barcelonis versus Victor Henry. Justin Taffa versus Henry Hunsaker. Ciara Eubanks will be going up against Melissa Gatto. Charles Jourdain versus Andre Uel. Raquel Pennington taking on Macy Chassain, I think. Dontel Mays is going up against Josh Reason. And then kicking off the card, Jordan Levitt against Matt Sales. Going to be a great card. Looking forward to it. Definitely not looking forward to a whole month without the UFC. Don't know what we're going to do. Definitely tune in next Tuesday for the award ceremony. For the UFC awards. I don't know if it's going to be much of a ceremony. It'll probably just be this, me talking to you, maybe my boy Mello out here laying on the couch listening to us, freaking out about something that's over there in the distance. But we will be, it will be our opinion in what we think is going to be knockout of the year, comeback of the year, submission of the year, and it will be after this card. Therefore, if anything happens on this card, it can be included if there's a comeback or a underdog or knockout or submission. We could see that on this card as well, and we will vote on it for next week. Stay tuned. We'll probably have Ian involved a little bit somehow within maybe with voting or possibly on the show with us. Who knows? Catch you on Saturday for the fights, next Tuesday for the award ceremony. Stay barbecue, motherfucker. Peace.